We're not against rap. We're not against rappers. But we are against those.
Something big about to happen. I hear the beat tapping. We some fly rhyming felines rapping on the track. Better yet, grab a gat, cause we hot like Enzo. Doors closed, windows up, cause that's the way we like to ride. Windy City hitting. Check mic 1 2 1 2. We live, baby.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what you doing?
Well, right now I am actually thinking about watching this movie. It's not a movie, it's a series.
Oh, what series?
It's called Peaky Blinders. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Peaking Blinders?
No, Peaky. Peaky.
Oh, Peaky Blinders.
Blinders. Yeah, it's they're actually out of I think it's New England, and it's a series. It's about a family back in the 1920s. They were a family of criminals, and they're that type of criminals that you kind of rally for them. You don't want them to get caught.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, so they're the bad guys, but they're also the good guys.
I like that. What network does it come on?
Well, this one is on Netflix, but I think it's also on another app as well. I can't. I'm gonna watch it from Netflix, but I think they're also on a couple of other apps as well.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to check that out myself. Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, Peaky Blinders. It's very good.
I love the name. It's catchy.
Yeah, it is. That's their gang name.
Oh, I get it. Okay, cool. Like The Sopranos.
Yeah, they were actually. It's sort of like a true story. They did actually exist during that time, so they changed, some of the scene scenarios and different things, but they were actually a real family.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we'll get started. Welcome to the show, Speak Your Mind Radio. This is Mzhiphop on the line. This is my mom. Mom, you want to introduce yourself, Mom?
Yes, my name is Crystal, and Mzhiphop is my youngest daughter. She's my middle child, and I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. That's nice and everything. Well, I brought you on the show today just to, have a conversation, because that's what I do, is have conversations that people think are interviews. So yeah.
Okay, that's cool. There's a couple things that I would like to talk about. That's okay.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
One of the things that's been really bothersome for me lately is all these senseless shootings that have been taking place in our beautiful city. And it's very disturbing, because we have a beautiful city, downtown Chicago, the Millennium Park, the lakefronts, the beaches, and Magnificent Mile, and the random shootings. Excuse me, I'm a little hoarse. The random shootings seem to have really gotten ridiculously out of control. And I do not understand why some of these, and these are the criminals that are the bad guys that I'm talking about now. They're shooting people, they're carjacking people, innocent people are dying, And, first we worried about the police brutality, and now it seems as though we have flipped the script and brutalizing each other. And so
Wow.
I'm having a real problem with that. I don't understand why they haven't been arrested, apprehended. They seem to be extremely bold and brazen in what they're doing. They're doing it in broad daylight, any time of the day, and it's very disturbing. Very disturbing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Especially since the pandemic has definitely escalated. These expressway shootings, these robberies and broad daylight. Even the CTA members are like protesting for justice for their own lives because, as one driver put it, I've never gotten into so many fights in my life driving a CTA bus. I've never had to dodge bullets, dodge, knives in one sitting. It's ridiculous. We don't get paid enough for this.
That's right.
And I totally agree with them.
Yes, they've gotten just really fearless. They're attacking CTA drivers. There was one incident just recently that downtown Chicago, there were a group of young people ranging from 12 on up to the early 20s, just a gang of them, hanging out, causing mayhem. Something happened, a shooting broke out, and police were called. And of course, by the time they get there, which is usually within a few minutes, a lot of the mayhem, people have escalated. People have departed the scene, but they were able to make a few arrests.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one young lady who was only 12 years old. She had gotten shot in her back and didn't know she had gotten shot until she got home. Now, when I heard the report, I'm thinking that she was downtown with her family, shopping, and this fight broke out. Somebody started shooting, and she got hit. Then they bring the mom on the news, and she's saying, "Well, I didn't even know that my child was downtown." She got home. She kept complaining about her back was hurting. So when I looked at her back and I saw that she was bleeding, and she said, I looked at it and I saw, this looks like a bullet wound. And of course, she takes her to the ER, and she's on television saying, I don't know what she was doing there. I have no idea. I wasn't there. I don't know why she was there. And I told her, just tell me the truth. You won't be in any trouble. And I'm looking at the mom give this interview. I'm thinking to myself, well, you sound just as dumb as your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have a 12-year-old who's gallivanting around town. This shooting took place around 8 or 9 o'clock. You don't know where your 12-year-old is at 8 or 9 o'clock at night? And, I've raised 2 that were definitely past 12 years old, but I always knew where you guys were. And I have your 12-year-old brother.
Right.
I just can't even imagine having a 12-year-old and you not know what their whereabouts. And you're on national television saying, I didn't even know she was there. You sound real dumb, lady. So it's just so much. And a lot of people are saying, well, it's a pandemic and people were pinned up, and I don't want to blame everything on the pandemic. So So we're out shooting each other, wild west.
Right.
Pandemic. Well, see, that sounds dumb too.
Mm-hmm.
And this, what do they call this? When they're breaking into the car dealerships and the stores and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call that?
Flash mob.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're they're just walking in at 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon, 10, 12 people, and just taking sledgehammers or whatever objects they have and just starting to smash up the stores and taking things out.
Right. They're
like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Smash and grab. That's what.
Yeah, smash and grab. I was about to say that because they saw this camera picked up a robbery at Joe Perillo's luxury car dealership downtown on Rush Street. Mm-hmm. And you could see the people still standing in the store, feeling me like the sales associates from afar, looking at these two young guys come in there. One had the Uzi or whatever kind of gun it was. It was covered though, but he had it. And the other guy pulled out a sledgehammer and just started smashing the windows of the where the jewelry was set next to the cars. Okay. And he took his time. And when I say he took his time, the audacity, took his time, took the bag out, put the thing in there, and then they both left. But the car salesmen, they came out with guns drawn and was trying to chase after them, which I think was dangerous too, because if you gave them all that time to do that,
yeah,
what was the point or whatever, so to speak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that this particular crime was only in certain areas in Chicago. Mm. And now, can't say that anymore because it's all over now. They don't care if it's South Side, West Side, East Side, North Side, the Mag Mile. They just don't care. And so it's very scary. It's extremely scary. And it's not only going on here. We hear about it here so much because we live here. Mm-hmm. But I think it was Philly about 2 weeks ago. I have this app that I look at, and this 14-year-old was waiting on the school bus at his stop, waiting for the school bus to come and pick him up to go to school. And someone pulled up, got out their car. A lot of these things that people are watching way too many movies.
Yeah.
Getting out their car, execution style. This kid, 28 bullets as he was running away.
Oh my God.
And when he fell, they stood over him and continued shooting.
Why? What was the why?
What? Exactly. And I'm thinking, my baby is only 12. This baby was only 14. Yeah, we don't know what the 14-year-old was involved in. We don't know all of that and this, that, and the other. But we do know that he lost his life that morning, and no one has been apprehended. Oh, and God. I just don't understand, why is it that no one ever sees anything? No one ever sees anything to be able to do an anonymous report. You don't have to call 911 and have them come to your front door. Anonymous tips. And I guess I can attribute that to people just being afraid to say anything, and don't want to get involved. And maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but I do know it has gone beyond a problem because it's something every single day, and nobody is being apprehended. Now they did have, I don't know if you heard about the 70-year-old grandfather
Mhm.
who was walking down the street. I think he was going to get a newspaper in Chinatown.
Mhm.
This guy sees him walking, shoots from his car. The old man fell. He gets out of his car again, execution style, and riddles this 71-year-old man's body with bullets.
Oh my God.
They apprehended him within 48 hours because you had the community to see this. They got the license plate number. And on top of that, the businesses in the area had cameras. And what the cameras didn't pick up, the community, the citizens in the community picked it up. They were able to apprehend him. I'm sorry, I said 48 hours that same day.
Wow.
That same day, they caught him. He's sitting in Cook County now. And they found out he had a police record. He's a young man too, in his 20s, had a police record. So he's not going anywhere. And this is what I don't understand. Why is it that nobody's seeing anything on the expressway? Or these mob groups and these shootings take place. All these cell phones that come out, but nobody sees anything.
Right.
So the police can't do it all by themselves, you know. They need help, and they need our help. People,
Right.
you know, people's help. And despite of what people may think of the police, we need them.
Yes.
And we can't put a blanket on the whole police department because every police officer isn't bad.
No, they're not.
You know, just like every police officer isn't good, but we can't throw a blanket on all of them and say they're all bad.
That's true, because in certain areas, like Atlanta, for instance, I don't know exactly pinpoint exactly where in Atlanta, but the emergency operators have stopped assisting some parts of the community. So
Yeah.
when they call now 911, they get a voicemail saying, I mean, a voicemail, like I could be bleeding, I could be in a lot of trouble. And you take for granted the sound of the ambulance coming down the street to rescue somebody, or the police officer chasing after somebody that had done something messed up. You take for granted for that, and then you go and say debunk the police. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that's you know, again, all officers are not bad, and you know, I'm in the school system, and it's unfortunate that you have had some officers really manhandle a female student or manhandle a male student. But at the same time, there are things that we as parents, and you know, when our children are away from us, sometimes they turn into different people that we don't even recognize. And I'm not advocating that police officers should be manhandling anyone, a teenager, not advocating that at all. Definitely needs some work done in those areas where they're trained better. Some of these kids have real mental issues.
Yeah.
And, you know, and when you manhandle them that way, it escalates to something else. And, but to debunk the police in these schools, I don't think that was the answer either. I think some more talk should have taken place, some more compromising to maybe have police officers and social workers on call. I don't know what it would take, but to debunk the police I don't think that was the greatest idea. And going back to Atlanta, I'm thinking that that was their retaliation.
Dang, I'm
You
telling
know,
you.
y'all don't want us here, so we ain't gonna be here.
Yes.
You know, and so, and again, that's speculation on my part because I don't know if that's what's going on. If they, you know, if they're not answering the phone calls because of that, I would think that would be some type of legal ramification as well. But you know, I don't know. So we're seeing the country uh, just. I've never seen it this way before. I've seen a lot, not as much as some, but I've seen enough to know that I have never, ever seen it like this. And there's virtually nowhere to run and hide. You were talking about Atlanta. I have a friend who lived in Atlanta. You know my friend.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to get me to come there to live. They said, well, and I said, why would I come? Why would I want to do that? And he says, well, because Atlanta is not the war zone that Chicago is.
Mm.
And I said, that sounds real good. It really sounds good. But wherever I go, wherever I take my son, we're still going to be Black.
That's right.
We're still going to be Black.
That's right.
And the thing I said about, I asked him, I said, he doesn't even live far from where Arbery was chased down and apprehended and killed, because he's jogging.
Right.
Just jogging, minding his own business, strengthening his body and his mind, just taking care of himself.
Yeah, minding his business and drinking his water.
That's it. And because you don't like my skin color and I'm doing a jog in your neighborhood or past your neighborhood, that this is what happens to me. And just thinking about that breaks my heart,
Yes.
The young lady who was shot and killed in her apartment.
Yes.
By the police. They're looking for her ex-boyfriend. So you mean to tell me it took all of that? It took all of that to realize that this man isn't here, that you're in the wrong apartment. No weapons were drawn. She was in her bed. So it's a lot going on right now. And we're just, and don't forget about what happened January 6th.
With the Capitol. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some scary shit there.
Yes.
That's even scarier than what I'm talking about, because we have always been met with violence.
Yes.
Whether we cause the violence or whether the violence was inflicted upon us, we've always dealt with violence. But when you get a bunch of people to storm the Capitol, our nation's democracy, where we hold meetings and votes, and slaves built the White House, and you can gather a bunch of people that organize to come together to storm it. These same people that say we believe in police officers, we love our Blue Lives Matter, we love our men and women in blue. These are the same people that said, kill them. If they get in your way, kill them. Hang the vice president of the United States. Same people that voted for him.
Right.
Walking through the Capitol, looking for a Congress. Anybody that was a Democratic congressman or woman looking to kill them. These people, that's some scary shit there.
It's some scary shit, but you know they do that in other countries too.
Yes. And that's what makes it even scarier to me, because we've never had that.
That's right.
In our country. And we know what those other countries go through.
Yes.
They're able to do stuff like that. We don't want that.
Right. Because like you were saying earlier, in the case of Breonna Taylor, it's like you're advocating for the police officers that ran into her apartment unannounced. And when her and her boyfriend decide to get the gun, now you have a problem.
Right.
So where does the consequences come and lay on the law itself? Isn't the law governed by the law as well? Apparently not.
Well,
so
yeah.
When you have incidents happen like on December 6th, then you start to see
January
6th, I'm sorry. You start to see where karma has its effect, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's going to take. Then with the variant, the virus is going around, and I have this app that I read, and there's so much hatred on it. If an article comes out about the virus or the vaccine, and just so much of hatred that's being spewed towards people that have decided, and it is a decision, a personal decision. People have decided to get the vaccine. And I just don't see people lining up to get the vaccine because they want to die.
Right.
I think the purpose for them doing so is because they're trying to live.
That's right. And
people that have decided that they won't get the won't get the vaccine because it's been quote unquote fast tracked. That too is their decision. And then you have the gray area, those people that cannot get the virus vaccine for different reasons. It's so much of hatred spewed on those comments about vaccinated people, calling them names and sheep and this and that. And it's like, have you people lost your minds?
Right.
You know, if you get the vaccine, why is that a problem? You getting vaccinated, why is that a problem for me?
That's right.
If I choose not to get the vaccine, why is that a problem for you?
Right.
So we seem to be living during a time that right seems to be wrong and wrong seems to be right. That's the only way that I can see it. And that doesn't even make any sense. Right is wrong and wrong is right.
That's right. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a commercial break. So we'll be back right after this message. Hey, what's up, Chicago? It's Mzhiphop from Speak Your Mind Radio, and I am officially selling the hoodies, okay? It is wintertime, 2021. It is time to grab you a hoodie to stay warm this cuffing season. You heard me? So visit the website at speak-yo-mind.creator-spring.com. That web address again is speak-yo-mind.creator-spring.com. See you there. Okay, guys, Chicago, we are back with more talk from Mzhiphop and my mother. So Ma, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think about all this recall on the food in the grocery stores?
Yeah, it's not cool, I tell you. I was just reading recently that there's a recall on the Minute Maid fruit juices, Sprite, Coca-Cola, recall on these beverages, Country Time lemonade, the Arizona tea, the berry punch for the Minute Maid, and the strawberry lemonade punch for the Minute Maid juices. They're finding contamination of glass in these beverages. So, that's really something to think about. Then they had another recall about there's this pharmacy. I can't think of the name of it, but they have recalled every single one of their medications.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. Every single one of their medications. I think, oh my goodness, I'm trying to think of the name of it, but I know if your listeners just wanted to know, they would probably just Google medication being recalled.
That's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them, but this particular company, manufacturer, all of theirs were recalled. All of them. Every last one. Not just certain ones that people may take for diabetes or high blood pressure or whatever, Parkinson's disease. Every single one that they manufacture.
Yeah, that is absolutely horrific to hear, to know that a company like that is that irresponsible when you're dealing with people's immune systems and their bodies. You have to think, like, what are we doing? What kind of poison were you and are you giving to us?
That's right. Absolutely. And we put so much of faith in our pharmaceuticals and in our doctors that, we don't even stop to think that maybe I should get a second opinion. Maybe I should look up this drug that I'm taking or that the doctor's giving me before taking it, just to see what its side effects might be, or if it interacts with something that I'm already taking. We just don't even stop to think like that. And
it's true. I mean,
that's a problem.
That is a problem, because you think we put so much faith in willpower into the FDA and the CDC, and they're the ones that all approving these medications and things of that nature, or things that we should be doing to better ourselves in general. It's like, wait a minute, we got to come together inwardly and think, like, there has to be another way. And speaking of another way, I think holistic doctors are probably something that should be offered more into the healthcare system for people that don't want to go to regular doctors.
Exactly. And speaking of that, sort of like staying on track, but just sidetracking just a little bit. We were talking earlier about the malicious things that people are saying on some of these apps about vaccinated people, and I'm reading more and more that they're saying that the unvaccinated people are filling up the hospital beds, the emergency rooms, and a lot of these people are saying that they were healthy, vibrant, and bodybuilder. Some of them are bodybuilder type people. They're young, they're not old people. And some of them are ending up in the ER, and they're dropping like flies. You know how the old people were dropping last year?
Yeah.
Now the younger people in their 20s, 30s, 40s are dying, and they're saying it was because they're unvaccinated. So I have a theory about that. And my theory is when those people were getting through, I call it the old COVID, and that was the COVID that came, that we knew about in February, March of 2020. Mm-hmm. And that COVID was devastating a lot of the elderly people. We were really losing them in record numbers all over the world. And then the mitigations came out about wear your mask, remember the social distance, wash your hands, help is on the way, which is the vaccine. Mm-hmm. So all of these people, if they didn't die, they were following these mitigations. Not all of them, though. Right. Some of those were anti-vaxxers and saying, even before the vaccine, we couldn't call them anti-vaxxers because there was no vaccine. But what they were saying is this is a hoax. This is not real. It's just the flu. Oh, I caught it, and all I had to do was take Tylenol and drink tea, and I was well in a few days. I said, well, you may have been one of the lucky ones, but it can't be a hoax because you got people all over the entire world, mm-hmm. not just in your hometown, but in the entire world are dying. What kind of hoax is that?
Right.
And so those people that were shunning the mitigations, they were walking around without their mask on and no social distancing and in everybody's face. But they were this is my theory, they were being protected by those that were following mitigations. And there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people wearing their masks because they were afraid. Oh, hell, I was one of them.
Right.
And so, I kept my social distancing. I wore my mask. I washed my hands. And so those people that did not follow those because they said it was a hoax, we were protecting them. And then when the vaccine came out, people were getting vaccinated in record numbers all over the country. And then the CDC said, okay, if you've had both your doses, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. That was the summer of this year, 2021. So those people that were keeping the rest of the country safe, those that said that there was no virus, there was a hoax, those people that were wearing their masks, and once they took the vaccine, they dropped their masks. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, they were still getting infected, the ones that had their 2 doses, but they had very mild symptoms, and it wasn't putting them in the hospital. And some of them didn't even know that they had contracted anything because they had been protected by the vaccine. Now, the ones that never wore masks, they started getting sick. Mm-hmm. They started getting sick because the vaccinators had stopped wearing their masks. Mm-hmm. So they were still transmitting the virus. There may have been a low viral in them, but an unvaccinated person, they got the whole gamut of it. And so they started becoming hospitalized. And then the CDC said, well, put your mask back on because there's a new variant out now. And by that time, people were saying, nope, I've been vaccinated twice. I'm not putting that mask back on. And they didn't put them back on. But you still had the people that were denying the vaccine and denying the virus was even real. they continue to not wear their mask, and they are the ones that are dying. To me, I mean, that's my theory.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree with your theory, because it just makes sense. Because, even the people that, never believed in it and was never going to take no vaccine said, see, the people that took the vaccine still getting sick. Well, that's because those people decided to stop protocol of social distancing themselves from others, mask wearing, among other things, probably like washing their dang own hands.
Right.
So that's why you have people that are fully vaccinated inside of these hospital beds and filling them up to capacity. The people
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the people that took that full year of the first year of the pandemic seriously and was scared out of their wits.
Yeah.
And still to this day, social distance, still to this day, wear their masks, wash their hands triple, quadruple times,
right,
are safer than they think, whether they are vaccinated or even not, because they took the initiative to believe in something and stand up for their rights to stay alive.
Exactly. That's and to me, that's it in a nutshell. Because if you notice, in the beginning, they were giving you race and gender. They were reporting race and gender who was being hospitalized and dying, and that was usually elderly people and people of color, blacks and Latinos. Those were the people of color that they were always saying it's hitting our community the hardest. And why is that? Well, because you had
poor diets.
Poor
diets.
Yeah, poor diet. And then you had the Latino community, that you had multi-generational households. In our community, you had every barbecue house and Church's Chicken and every McDonald's and
liquor stores.
Liquor stores, yes, and on every block. So it was our diet, and then we're stacked on top of each other, because you had the grandparents in the household, you had the children, you had the grandchildren, and in the household, so you had this multi-generational household going on. And then you had these same community of people. They were the ones who were going to work every day, the essential workers.
Yes.
They're the ones who were delivering groceries and delivering hot foods and even picking up people's laundry and taking them to the laundromat. So those are the people, to me, that really kept things going outside of the healthcare system, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other people were safe. They were able to work from home. They didn't have to go out. They didn't really have to go anywhere. Beginning of the pandemic, so you weren't hearing about them. But now, you're not hearing about who's in hospitals. Now, I think that's kind of ironic that, well, who are the people that are being hospitalized now? Are they still people of color? Are they still the elderly people? But if you look at the data carefully, it's showing you that these are the 30-something-year-olds, the 40-something-year-olds, and unfortunately, even younger than that. And these people are generally in good health, because when you read the articles about it, I was reading an article the other day. There's a young man, great shape. He was a rock climber, bodybuilder, and ended up in intensive care. And because he caught COVID, and as great a shape that he was in, his body could not fight the virus. just the infection gave him organ failure. And he FaceTimed his sister, his twin sister, and begged her not to let the healthcare system give up on him. And then he died. So this was an anti-vaxxer. This is a person that said, no, I don't believe in this virus. I'm not getting a vaccine. And what he didn't understand is that when you were doing okay in the beginning of the virus a year ago, and you were walking around without your mask or anything, protection on, everybody else was protecting you because we were scared. We were social distancing, wearing our masks and all that stuff. And because I used to wonder in amazement, I'd be out, see people with no mask on, no gloves on and no social distancing. This was back in the fall of the spring of last year, 2020. So it's unfortunate that we're still doing the same old
song and dance.
Yes, about this is a hoax. It's a hoax. So
no, more like it's a host.
Yeah.
The hoax. No, it's a host,
and you it.
That's right. Yes, there you go. I like that.
Yeah. You made it easy for the people that took it seriously in the beginning to still be living. That's what you did.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but I just want to say, I think what happened was when COVID-19 hit, you said it was a multitude of elderly people that died first. And I believe going back to the pharmacy system, and that I still can't think of that company that got recalled all the medications, but stuff like that, it attacked the weakest immune systems first.
Yes.
And then once it didn't have no more hosts for that, it went to the people with the poor diets and it's just a respiratory disease. People that were smokers, people that were drinking heavily, doing this every single day. It got those people.
That's right.
Then it needed another host. So what did it do? It transmuted into another variant, kept transmuting. And then it also went to go to the people that, okay, y'all got a vaccine. Cool. Corona's still looking around like, now you think you got the vaccine. You think you're better than everybody. You done took off your mask. You next. Yeah. And that's just it. That's exactly how it's going, Yeah,
it feels like that. And, there was a time where you couldn't even find any masks, and now you can find them everywhere. So that has to tell you something right there. Mm-hmm. When you couldn't find any masks because people were buying them and wearing them, and things kind of started stabilizing a little bit, and then the vaccine came out. Now you can find them everywhere. Some of them are great, and some of them not so great. Mm-hmm. But you could find them now. You couldn't, this time last year, you couldn't find a bottle of bleach or Lysol or the good hand sanitizer. Mm-hmm. Now you can find all of that. So hopefully we're learning something. I don't know about everybody else, but I've learned a few things during this pandemic. When I had COVID, I had to make sure your brother didn't contract it from me. And so I've learned that you can actually live with someone in close proximity with the virus as long as you take those mitigations seriously until you get over it.
That's so true. I mean, you said everything in a nutshell.
Yeah. So, the name of that pharmacy is called Edge. Yeah, like take the edge off. Edge Pharma.
Wow.
They did a nationwide recall of all their drug products. So they said anybody that had these pharmaceuticals by this company in their possession to throw them out.
That's right. Throw that mess out and keep it out.
Yep.
All those participants should be getting a check
in the mail.
They should be, but they won't. They probably won't, but they should be getting something. That will probably take, I don't know how long for something like that to happen. If it happens.
Sure. Right.
So a lot of recalls: meat, ham, pepperoni, Spam. I saw just all kinds of onions, spinach. I don't know what's going on with the world, but it seems a little sketchy right now.
That's true. I don't know what's going on with the grocery sector of the world, because not only are
our food products being recalled, but everyday items that we use in our household, like deodorant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Secret has been recalled because they keep finding cancerous elements in the ingredients. And I believe cancer is made by man, though. Through the plastic.
Yeah, the ingredients that are used. We still use certain things in our country that other countries have banned. I know one thing is ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was France that banned ketchup years ago because of an ingredient that's in it that's causes cancer. They banned ketchup years ago.
Wow. We still eat
all of it. Yeah, we still eat it. Yeah, so you have to wonder, why isn't the U.S. following some of these things? I remember the international doctor in I can't remember what country he was in. Maybe you can remember. But when the patients were lying on their backs in the hospital during COVID, and he said, no, don't lie the patients on their back, because the majority of the lungs are back there. And this is why they're having a problem breathing. And then they did the breathing technique. That saved my life. You sent me that video.
Yeah,
you sent me that video, because that saved my life. Because that's the first thing you think about, is to lay on your back when you're sleeping. If you're not feeling well, you think to lay on your back. And
that's true.
Yeah, and so I'm sorry.
No,
I was distracted for a minute. So that's what that saved my life. The American doctors still haven't said anything about that. That protocol. And then I read that some nurses from this year had made a comment under the International Doctors page and said, thank you, because I was just diagnosed with COVID, and I was on my 10th day, and it wasn't looking good. I didn't want to go to the hospital. This is a nurse. And she said, I ran across your video and I started doing the breathing techniques. And she said, I'm just about done with this infection now.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Save more than one person's life.
Oh yeah, people are still commenting. That video went up over a year ago, almost 2 years ago. And he made the video for his family and friends, because they all live in different parts of the world. And the video went viral, and you got a hold of the video and you sent it to me. Yeah, so that video saved my life with the breathing. I never had the problem area of breathing, but that video prevented me from having a problem with the breathing.
Oh, that's beautiful. That that the video saved your life, because you wouldn't be here right now, Yeah, because that COVID thing, it's
I hear people say, "Oh, it's just the flu, it's just the cold, it's just this, it's just that," and maybe they were one of those lucky ones that it didn't affect them that way. But we've had over 50 million people across the world, across the globe, nationally and internationally. 50 million people. That's a lot of death.
Yes.
That's a lot of death for a hoax.
Exactly.
As you say, that was 50 million hoaxes that they found.
Yeah, that's a lot. Right, a lot of 50 million hosts.
Yeah, 50.
It's not funny, but it is.
Right.
The way you say it, but yeah, it's true. I mean, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. Put your mask on your face. Gee.
Exactly.
Like, you don't see me in your face, don't be in mine. Give me 50 feet, not 6 feet, 50.
Right, exactly. I know Dave Chappelle did in one of his stand-up comedy acts. He said he and his wife were out to dinner and they were in their little, booth, and when the waitress or waiter would come over, they were masked up. And he and his wife, when they sat down, they had the masks off, and said this lady comes over to him, a fan, and he said, and she was doing all the H words without a mask on. Hi, how are you? Hello. He said he kind of put his arms around his drink, and he was like, lady, back up. What is wrong with you? Pull your mask up.
Right.
And so, and even though he said he and his wife were fully vaccinated. So, you got a lot of people out here that are still following mitigations, even though they've been fully vaccinated, because, science is still learning about this virus, no matter how it gets started. I know people said it came from here, it came from there, this person did this. No matter any of that, it's here. Yeah. So, we have to protect ourselves. Yeah.
Trying to let the cat out the bag on that one.
Yeah. That's what your brother just said. That's what your brother just said.
Oh, that's what he said? Okay. I know I heard it. I thought I heard it. That is weird. Yeah, I heard something. I heard a cat and I had thought about the rest of it.
Yeah, that's what he was saying as well. I wasn't going to say China, but since you guys already put it out there.
Yeah.
But we do know it originated from China now. How it was an accident, if it was done intentionally, I don't know. That's another podcast.
Amen. Yeah, it is. Definitely.
Yes, that's another podcast. So.
And speaking of another podcast, let's talk about personal care. Mom, what's your definition of real hot girl shit?
Oh, I do that all the time.
Oh, really? Okay. Tell us your routine.
Absolutely. No girl should be without it. Well, my definition of hot girl shit is taking care of your goddamn self.
Wow.
Loving yourself.
Yes.
Being there for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Having faith and confidence in yourself. Trusting yourself. And I'm at the age now that I really don't give a damn what anybody else thinks or says about me. So your brother is taking a much different journey with me than you and your sister did.
No, that's right. Praise him.
Yeah. He's on a much different journey with me than you guys had, and so that's my definition of hot girl shit. This is something new to me. is not as foreign for me now as it was in the beginning, but it fits me well.
Yes.
So that is my definition of hot girl shit. Basically, in a nutshell, love yourself.
That's
Love
right.
yourself. Love yourself. So, what's your definition?
My definition of real hot girl shit is drinking your water and minding your business.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Definitely.
Yes. Listen, speaking of drinking water, I saw a guy in India, full of head full of gray hair, beard was long, and it was gray. Every strand of hair on his face and head was gray.
Beautiful.
But he had the youngest skin and eyes seen on a elderly person. If you were to shave his beard off and dye his hair, that man could have easily passed for someone in his 30s. That's just how clear his eyes were and his skin was. And he talked about water, drinking the right kind of water. It was just an amazing conversation. Drinking the right kind of water. It's not just drinking any kind of water. It's the right kind.
Was it spring water?
Apparently the water he was talking about is the water that's never been that doesn't really come through pipes.
Fiji water, untouched by man.
Did you hear him?
Fiji water, untouched by man. It's funny.
Yeah. So, just a lot of things that we as the Western culture don't know about. We think we know everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we don't know everything. So, yeah, that's Yeah, but anyway, this guy was he was really just very handsome, elderly man who could have easily passed for someone in his 30s had he not been bearded, gray hair in his beard. Every strand of hair on his face and head was gray. But again, he had the youngest eyes and skin I'd ever seen. Just beautiful.
Wow, you have to send that article to me so I can see, or that video rather.
Yeah, it's because it was a conversation that he was having. It was a live chat. I wanted to ask him how old he was, but I didn't, so I left it alone. Yeah, I left it alone. He's extremely handsome.
Yeah, water is essential resource on this planet, so it's very important to get your water intake in, and for those of us that are fortunate to have water, clean running water, so I'll just definitely say that.
Absolutely. And sometimes we take things for granted, that other people, we go to the water parks.
Right.
Sometimes like when I would take your brother to the water park, I would think about countries that didn't have, clean water to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And here we're sliding down a 25 feet sliding into the water.
Right.
And so things like that, I think about stuff, and I don't understand why that is. Why don't countries have, clean drinking water? Why is that? Why? I don't understand that. I don't understand why we have homelessness.
Yeah.
In this country, when this is supposed to be the richest country on the planet, why do we have homelessness? I don't understand that either. A lot of things I don't understand. And it says more to it than just, oh, well, you should go to school and get an education and then you won't be in that predicament. Well, that's a bunch of BS.
Yes, it is.
A bunch of BS. You know?
Definitely.
So, a lot of homeless people that have degrees.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are homeless that never got that shot. But again, you know, that shot at having a degree. But again, you know, think about it. We go to school, we get these degrees, and we come out worse than when we went in because now you got all this debt to pay.
Right.
From going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something doesn't quite add up.
No, it doesn't. Something doesn't add up. Just like every time they do increase hourly wages out here, you know, the pricing of housing goes up, you know, the price of housing. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what was the point of even introducing or implementing the effort into raising minimum wage if you're going to now raise the rent on people?
Right. Excuse me, my phone. And another thing,
Mm-hmm.
why would you know, why are people fighting Republican Congress people? Why are they fighting raising minimum wage? That doesn't make any sense. And then they, finally, out of all the back and forth, then you say, okay, well, we'll raise it. We'll give you $1.50 this year and then another $1.50 in 2 years. What the?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, are you insane?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it. And our school system, that's another story that maybe we save that for a different podcast. But if I had known then what I know now, man, I would have done things so much different. So much different. But our school systems are not. I think we could do better.
I think so too. On both students' ends and the staff.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's what I. Yep. Students and staff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Let's,
you know.
Tie back. Mm-hmm.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say tie back to the community, or the police need the community's help. The community need the police's help. Like we need each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. They cannot do it alone. We cannot do it alone.
Right.
You know, the school systems need parents' intervention, and we need their intervention. I think.
No, it's much needed. I agree.
Yeah, and because I can remember doing things for you and your sister when you guys were in high school, and I'm thinking, what? Didn't you learn this in class? Why don't you know this?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what?
What?
I'm doing the same thing with your 12-year-old brother.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so see, I'm having a real problem with the school system.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I had known then what I know now, yeah. So hopefully I'm implementing some better choices and decision making now. You know, that's the one thing about decisions. If you don't get it right the first time,
Mm-hmm.
the universe offers you another opportunity.
Yeah.
To get it right later.
Exactly. It always comes around.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Yeah.
Every unlearned lesson always comes back around, like full circle, like a not a frisbee, a boomerang.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
Wow, this was an amazing conversation with you, Mom. Thank you so much for coming on today's show.
Wow, well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I really enjoyed this conversation. I know it's a little lengthy, but I did enjoy it. I know my voice is a little hoarse, but you say I sound like this all the time.
Yeah, you do.
Somebody once told me that your brother's principal and talked to her in a couple of years, and I called his school one day and I told her my name. She said, "Oh, I know who you are. You have that raspy voice." I was like,
see there.
Hey. Yeah. So what can I say? I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Until next time, Chicago, I'll be bringing more content your way as usual, as promised. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Speak Your Mind Radio. I'm Mzhiphop, and I'm out. Peace.